Hi, hello, good afternoon. I think you should be able to hear me, right? Thumbs up,
Yes, can.
yes? Okay, good. Thank you, Natalie. Thanks, Mingguan. All right, good. Yeah, so we will embark on tutorial 4, which is on channelization. And last week, if you remember, we were discussing on channelization, how we can make use of pavement markings to regulate our movement of our traffic movement, to warn our motorists, to warn our drivers, to basically to create a better right of way for our drivers. All right. So today we will look at two questions on how we can improve the situation of the road by just using channelization. Yeah? How we can treat the road by just using channelization. All right. So I'm giving you two different scenarios here. Hopefully you can discuss it in a group later. We will break you guys up into different rooms with the breakout rooms, and then we will hopefully you can discuss it out, share your ideas with your friends. Okay. So we look, excuse me. So we look at the question first. All right. So question 1, the intersection shown in the figure. I just flash it now. So this section, this is a 4-leg intersection. Okay. The intersection shown in figure 1, which is on next slide, is on a highway, on a high-speed highway at the outskirts of a rural town. Provide a sketch of a channelized intersection, introducing island and lane marking. Okay, so include appropriate signs where necessary. A small amount of pavement widening can be considered. The design must, 3 points here, must resolve the priority at the intersection using stop sign, should inconvenience drivers on a state highway as little as possible, but not all minor movements might be continued. Safety and not capacity is the major concern. Okay, so the general data given, the state highway has a low volume where the AADT approximately is 3,000 vehicles per day. Per day means over 24 hours. So with 3,000 vehicles, that is really low. The main road and residential street carry very low volumes, and it is not considered feasible to fully close either local road at the intersection. However, some movements might not be allowed, and speed limits for state highway is 100 km per hour, residential street and main road is 60 km per hour. So you can see this, the speeds are very high, 100 km per hour. This is a high speed. And for residential and main road, 60 km per hour. Okay, so I'll come back to these points, all these points again. Let's just look at the figure just to get to know the intersection a little bit. All right. So here you have the intersection for, from east, from west, north is here. Okay, north is on this side. So from west, this is the state highway, and the state highway actually turns into north, or if you're coming from north, it goes into west. Okay, so this direction is the state highway. And then on the east side, this is a residential street. And on the southern side, we have main road. This is name of the road only, main road. But if you look at a smaller fine print here, negligible traffic. Okay, so meaning to say the traffic over here is not significant at all. And we have houses over here. There's a police station over here. This is open space. And this is a bowling green. All right. And if you look at this dash slash dash slash dash, this is the right of way where the land has been allocated for the road. Okay, so if you were to do any expansion, you can actually expand further until this point. All right, so this is the access to, this is the right of way for the roads. Currently, the roads are paved. If you look at this line, dash 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 line, and there are two words here, edge bitumen. Okay, so edge of bitumen, so which means currently the road has been paved until here. All right, so all these are paved until where the dash line is, okay, this point, and edge bitumen, yeah, this one, okay. So all this area has been paved, all right. And then you have here X, K, and C, existing curb and channel. This is existing curb and channel, as well as this one, existing curb and channel. Okay, so you have two lines of existing curb and channel. What this means is that if you are to extend the road, you have this much space before you reach the existing curb and channel. If you want to further expand it, you will need to remove the existing curb and channel. Okay, so if you were to draw it out, because there is a scale given at the bottom. If you were to draw it out, then you have to draw proper realignment, proper signage, proper markings. All right. Now let's get back to the points in the question. Okay, so the intersection shown is on a high-speed highway. High-speed highway, and we can see the speed is, state highway is 100 km/h. So which means for this state highway, this is 100 km/h speed. And at this part at the intersection, this is on a curve. Okay, so this is 100 km/h. All right. And it's at the outskirts of a rural town, and it is very common if it is in a rural town, speed tend to be much higher. Traffic volume, traffic capacity is not an issue, but rather speed is an issue. And we have seen that the speed is 100 km/h, so it's really, really fast. All right. So you are to provide a sketch of a channelized intersection. If you look at the drawing, at the moment, there is no line marking. There is no channelization of whatever sort. It's just paved bitumen. Okay, it's just paved highway. That's all. All right, so there's no line marking, and you are to introduce, or you are to sketch a channelized intersection. All right, introducing island as well as lane marking. So include whatever appropriate signs where necessary. All right. A small amount of pavement widening can be considered, and that's why just now I brief you on this. Okay. So you have the edge of bitumen currently is it's paved up till here, but if should you need to expand it a little bit, you may do so. This is the limit. Okay. So this is the limit of where the road reserves are. So the design must resolve the priority at the intersection using only stop sign, stop or give way sign. Okay, so that means you cannot put traffic light at this location. Yeah. Okay, and one of the goal is that it should inconvenience drivers on the state highway as little as possible, but not all minor movements might be continued. Okay, so it should inconvenience the driver of state highway as little as possible. That means priority goes to the users of state highway. Okay, so these two do not have priorities. And sorry, if you look at the continuation of the sentence just now, but not all minor movements might be continued. What this means is that now currently, because there is no line marking, it is not clear who gets the movement, who gets the priority, as well as it is not clear which movements are allowed. Okay, so let's just assume that at the moment, all movements are allowed. All right, but in the question, it says, but not all minor movements might be continued. So you may choose, you may opt to stop some of the minor movements, meaning to say, let's say from residential street, currently the movement allowed are right turn, through movement, left turn. All right. Now you may choose to say stop the through movement. You don't allow the through movement, but you allow a right turn and a left turn. You can do so. All right. So you can choose to stop some of these minor movements. Okay, and safety and not capacity is the major consideration. Because of the high speed, safety is the consideration. Capacity is not an issue because this is outskirt of rural town. All right, so we can see the volume is very, very low, 3,000 vehicle per day. And main road and residential street carry very low volume, which are these two, residential street. These are just names of the road, residential street, main road. So even though the name is main road, but the traffic really is really low, it's negligible, right? So these two, residential street and main road, the traffic over these two streets, over these two roads are really low, okay? And it is not considered feasible to fully close either local road at the intersection. However, some movements might not be allowed. So this tie in with this one, but not all minor movements might be continued. Okay, so what this means is that, like what I've explained, you can opt to close down some of the movements. You cannot close this road totally by not allowing neither a right turn, a through movement, nor a left turn. You cannot stop all the different movements. You can stop some of the movements, say a left turn, you don't want to allow that, you don't want to allow through movement, but you only allow a right turn, yes, you can do so. But you cannot stop and close all the three movements. Okay, I hope you get that point. All right, so likewise, it goes to this main road. You can stop some of the movements. You can choose not to allow it, but you must allow at the very least one movement, one direction. Okay. What about the state highway? Can we stop the movements? Can we stop some of the movements from there? Yes, if you choose to stop some of the movements from state highway, yes, you may do so. However, the movement from state to state highway should be allowed. Okay, so that means from west to east, west to north and north to west. These two movements are the priority. It must be allowed. The rest of the movements, we can consider it as minor movement, and therefore, if you choose to discontinue some of these movements, you may do so. All right. So really, safety is the key thing here, not capacity. All right. And you are to design the channelized intersection using either stop sign or give way sign, preferably using stop sign because it is high-speed highway. All right. Are we good with the explanation on this? Do you understand what you're supposed to do for this question? Can you just give me an indication if you are okay with the explanation? Or are you still digesting? You're still blur. Still blur and still digesting. Yep. So what this question is asking you is basically to put in, say, line marking. Okay. Currently, you don't see any line marking here. All right. And what we want out of this is to put in line markings to do channelization, either raised traffic island or just painted on the surface of the pavement, but to do some form of channelization so that state highway users will have the priority, meaning to say the drivers from here, they can travel smoothly into north, and the drivers from north can travel smoothly into west. So as they go through this intersection, priority goes to these two movements and that they are safe as well as other users are safe. So how are you going to channelize them, channelize those two movements into these two state highways? Okay, so currently you don't see any line marking. I can put a very simple one. I can put a very simple one. I can just put like this, and this one as well. So there's a stop line here. There's a stop line here. And there's a stop line here. Okay, so which means at this point I can allow through, I can allow left turn, I can allow right turn. Likewise goes to the rest. Okay, so this is the most basic what's that? Most basic, you get the idea? Okay, what was I saying? Yep, this is the most basic pavement marking, but this does not resolve the priority issue. Okay, so this would mean I have the same priority for all the different approaches. If I arrive here, I must stop because this is a stop line. Whether there are cars or not from the other movements, it is not my concern. I have to stop because this is a stop line. All right, so this would mean that drivers for state highway, if I want to turn left, I still have to stop here. At the very least, press on my brake pedal. And then if there is no car, I move and turn left. Okay, but that means it is delay for the user. The user has to come to a stop. Okay, and likewise for those who wants to turn here, they have to stop here, make sure it's clear, and turn. Okay, so that means it is not convenient for these drivers. So how can we use channelization to allow these two movements, the state highway users, a more convenient drive so that they can turn into north and north to west without having the need to stop. All right, so you can make use of, say you put traffic island over here. Okay, I don't want to allow this movement, so I channel them into this and so on. All right, so you put traffic island, this traffic island or painted island. Okay, something like that. Or I can allow a straight median like this, a strip island, for example. Sorry about the bad drawing. Something like that. All right, so that means I give priority for this movement to go here. But what about this movement? Okay, so something like that. All right, so I want you to discuss further on that in your group. How can you improve the intersection without having, by putting channelized or traffic islands and stop signs only. Okay, let me check if there are further questions. So basically we are to improvise with the sketch and improve the road condition. Improve the road condition by providing safety to the state highway users. Okay. Need to put traffic light? No, traffic light is not. This is only by using channelization. If you look at the question, what is the question? Okay, provide a sketch of channelized intersection, introducing island and lane marking only. Okay, so include appropriate signs where necessary, using stop sign and traffic, obviously stop sign only, not signalized. So stop sign coupled with island and land marking. Okay, the condition mentioned should inconvenience drivers as little as possible, meaning the design should not stop the drivers. If possible, we give priority, we give the users of state highway a continuous drive rather than having to slow down or even stop. All right. Yeah. So try and see how you can improve the design of this intersection by using just channelization. Okay. No traffic lights. Now, one question that often comes up in the past, can I put a roundabout at this intersection? Do you think you can put a roundabout at the intersection? Would that be considered as channelization? No, cannot. May I know why no? Not sure. Anyone think that you cannot put okay, maybe show of hands who think that you cannot put roundabout as a solution for this question. Can you just raise your hand if you think that we cannot put roundabout as a solution for this question? So no one raised. Okay, so who thinks that you can put roundabout as a solution? Okay, there's one. The rest of you? Democracy is failed. Okay, so apparently the roundabout solution is the majority of 2. All right, now let's discuss this a little bit, okay? Can we use, first of all, is roundabout a channelized solution? Roundabout, yes, roundabout is a type of channelization, okay? So you are not wrong to say that roundabout can be used for channelization in this case, okay? However, roundabout gives equal opportunities to all the movements, meaning to say, if I put a roundabout here, all the movements that approach the roundabout will have an equal chance. As long as there is no circulating movement, the minor movement will be able to enter into the roundabout and move on. Okay, so regardless, and for this one, they come at 100 km/h, they will have to slow down, move into the circulating lane of the roundabout, and then move out of the roundabout. So for that reason, to put a roundabout here will not help, because these two, the state highway, you are traveling at 100 km/h. So the standard of the road, the category of the road is much higher compared to residential street and main road. Okay, so these two you are traveling only at 60. So it is not equal. The road classification here is not equal between the state highway and these two, residential and main road. All right, so if you put a roundabout here, it means that everybody's priority is the same. There's no priority. But in the question, what we want is to give priority to state highway users. All right, so I hope that explains to you why we are not using a roundabout for this question. Okay. Now, I will explain to you question 2, one shot, and then I'll break you guys into group. Yeah. Okay, so question 2. A proposed access road for a new shopping center is shown in figure 2. This access road should provide entry for both eastbound and westbound traffic in an unsignalized intersection and an exit in at least one direction. Sketch a channelized arrangement other than a roundabout for this intersection with safety as your major objective. Explain the principle of channelization you have used in this arrangement. Include appropriate signs where necessary. Okay, so if we look at the figure, we have quite a major arterial here. This is 4-lane two-way. Okay, so 2-lane over here. There's a median, and then you have another 2-lane over here. So total of 4-lane two-way, plying this road. Okay, and this is the proposed access road for shopping center and a car park. All right, and across on the other side of the road, you have residential area. And if you have noticed, you have service road one way, service road one way. Now, service road is not counted as part of your arterial 4-lane two-way. Okay, this service road, if you recall from your road engineering, this service road is meant, basically the name, as the name suggests, service road, it's to collect all the traffic from your arterial road, so that you don't have all these small intersections left in, left out. You don't have every 50 meter or so you have another small intersection. So this service road is where it is connecting to your properties, adjacent properties. All right, so if you have residential areas here, it will have a lot of small junctions connecting to the service roads. And from the service road, usually you have one opening quite far apart and another opening, quite 2 openings or maybe more, but those are spaced quite far apart. Okay, so the idea is that the arterial road, if you want to get off from the arterial road into the residential area, you get off to the service road and then you exit at the appropriate intersection or at the appropriate junction to the residential area. All right, so the service road should have very low speed, and the main arterial here, the 4-lane two-way, should have a much higher speed. Okay, so now the question here just now, it is asking you, you have a proposed road. Currently, there's a median here, and you are to okay, so this access road should provide entry for both eastbound and westbound traffic in an unsignalized in an unsignalized intersection, and an exit in at least one direction. Yeah. So what it means is that you should provide entry to the shopping center from east and from west, and exit and in at least one direction. Yeah? So exit wise in at least one direction, whether you want to exit this side or whether you want to exit this side, that's up to you. Okay, so I think this one we encounter this more because this is in urban area, urban setting. So I hope this question is much clearer to you. Any other things to look out for? Okay, so no roundabout again, and you should not use what's that, signalized intersection either. Okay, so it must be a channelized arrangement. And safety, again, is your objective, not capacity. Okay, so then you have to explain the principle of channelization you have used for this arrangement. Okay, any question on this explanation? Or are we okay with question 2? Sounds quiet, so I suppose that's okay. Yep. Okay, so I see more thumbs up for this question. All right, so we have, I thought I saw 15 just now. Now it's 12, so plus minus myself, so there'll be 11 of you. Let's put 4 in a group, about 4, 3 to 4 in a group. Okay. All right, so I will give you time to work in your smaller groups so that you can discuss it with your classmates, and hopefully we'll get to share whatever you have discussed with the groups, with the class later. Okay, now what I want you to do in the group, somebody to draw or take note, if you like, draw. Just a second. Okay, something like what I've done here. You can just draw on the figure that I've given to you. Draw the channelization here, and later you can just share it with the class so that we can discuss from there. All right, I hope you can do that. Okay. All right, so I will break you into group. Let's take about roughly about 15 minutes per question. Then we come back to the main hall. All right, I will go from group to group, jump in whenever I can into your groups. Yeah. Okay, so I'll see you in your small group, and I'll set the group up. Number of rooms, 3 rooms. Automatically assign. Okay, so I'm creating the groups now. See you in a while.